Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to Chelsea Fan TV and welcome to another edition of Player Ratings. First things first, guys, make sure you smash the like, subscribe if you're new around here, and as always, leave your thoughts in the comments below. And Chelsea got off to a disappointing start, going down 2-0 to Manchester City at Stamford Bridge, thanks to goals from Erling Haaland and Mateo Kovacic. Obviously, not the start we were looking for. I don't think too much can be read into the fact we lost the game against Man City. There were some positives and there were some things that need to be worked on. And we'll find out a lot more about this side in the upcoming fixtures. But let's dive straight into it then. Obviously, starting lineup, a couple of surprises potentially. Enzo Fernandez deployed in the number 10 role. No natural wingers. Cole Palmer and Nkunku deployed out wide, with surprisingly Nicholas Jackson through the middle, given he's featured so sparingly in the pre-season. But let's kick things off then. Let's start with Robert Sanchez. Yes, that man, Robert Sanchez. I don't know what we can say about him. I don't know how many more times that Chelsea need to watch this guy play to see that he's not good enough. I don't get it. I really don't get it. You know, he did make a good save to deny Doku. Other than that, I thought he was awful. Distribution, shocking. His poor distribution led to the second goal. Yes, I know it was a misplaced pass from Fofana and whatnot that ultimately came to it, but his poor distribution led to that in the first place. And then he should have done better with the Kovacic save as well. The fact that he supposedly preferred to Petrovic because he's good with the ball at his feet is utter nonsense. Every time he gets the ball, there's a nervousness in the crowd. That nervousness definitely, transcends onto the defense. Get this guy out. Pure and simple, get this guy out. He is not good enough. His distribution's crap, and he's just not a very good goalkeeper. And the sooner Jorgensen comes in, the better. I thought Sanchez was woeful, absolutely woeful. Give him a 3 out of 10. Nothing more than that. And the quicker we can displace him from the number 1 spot, the better. And it's a transfer that we should never, ever have made. And it goes down as another poor piece of business that has happened under this new ownership. Although, must be said, there have been some good ones, but this goes down as a particularly bad one. Robert Sanchez, 3 out of 10. Get this guy gone. Moving on to Malo Gusto. I thought he was okay. Doku gave him a tough task. Savinio the same as well when they switched sides. I thought he dealt with Doku reasonably well. Gusto got forward in some good moments, put some dangerous balls into the box and whatnot. Didn't have the most impact going forward, but it was kind of a solid performance from Gusto. Does he ultimately have what it takes to displace Reece James in the long term? I don't really know. He's got the game to give it a very good go. But I thought in this game, it wasn't his best, but it absolutely wasn't bad by any means. Defended well, got forward. Could have seen a bit more from him attacking wise, but overall pretty solid. And I'd give him a 6 out of 10. I didn't think he was too bad. I'd give him a 6 out of 10. Moving on to the central defensive pairing. Let's start with Wesley Fofana. Obviously, first competitive start for a long time. Understandably looks rusty. Him, Colwell, Cucurella all could have dealt better with the Erling Haaland situation. He made some good tackles, and to be fair, he did show some positive signs when trying to deal with Haaland. Ultimately, it was his poor clearance, I think, that did lead to the second goal. But look, some positive signs, but it's going to take him time to get back up to speed and rediscover his top form, which we all hope he can, following a couple of serious injuries that he's had so far during his Chelsea career. But I would probably say Fofana, I'd probably give him a 5.5. Moving on to Levi Colwell. He was sloppy again. Should have been much better for that Erling Haaland goal. He looks calm on the ball, sure, but I don't know. There's probably still a few question marks around his defensive capabilities. He needs to grow into this role more. It's a big season for him. He's taken that number 6 shirt that Thiago Silva had last time out, and he needs to start putting in some good performances. The quality's there, the ability's there, but he's got to cut out individual mistakes and sloppiness. And I thought Fofana probably just shaded him. So I gave Fofana a 5.5. I think, to be honest, Colwell's got to go with just a 5 on this one. Needs to improve. Moving on to Cucurella. Had a brilliant summer, in for his first start after 45 minutes against Inter. And you just knew with all the Haaland stuff, the song and whatnot, that he was just he was going to be involved in some sort of Haaland goal, and he was brushed off far too easily for that opening goal. I actually thought for the rest of the remaining, I actually thought he defended pretty well in the game. He dealt with the 1v1 threat of Savinho and Doku reasonably well. Obviously went off in the closing stages, I think, with probably a bit of cramp, it looked like. But, you know, not the best. And surprisingly, there was no inverting fullbacks from Enzo Maresca in this game at all, which was an interesting tactical switch up. But I thought Cucurella did okay. I'd probably give him a 6 as well. That he will improve, and yeah, you know, in the inverted role, he's perfect for what Enzo Maresca is looking to do. But surprisingly, as I said, there wasn't really any inverted fullbacks in this game, so definitely more to come from him. But absolutely could have done better with that Haaland goal. Give him a 6 out of 10. Moving into midfield, let's start with Moises Caicedo, starting alongside Romeo Lavia in that kind of pivot. You know. And I thought he continued with how he finished last season with a positive performance here. He could have been been a bit firmer with Kovacic for that second City goal, but you know, there were some nice bits and pieces from him, and he'll continue to grow into his role. He'll continue to grow into this Chelsea side and adapt to the demands that Enzo Maresca is placing on him. And he's going to be a major player for Chelsea this season. I thought, you know, this perhaps wasn't amazing from Caicedo, but, you know, it was a positive performance, and there are some nice bits and pieces from him. So I think for me, I'd go with a 6 out of 10. Moving on to Romeo Lavia. For me, Chelsea's best player on the pitch, comfortably. He missed pretty much the whole of last season through injury. He impressed in the pre-season campaign, and he carried that on against City. You know, it was a shame that he got subbed off, obviously probably managing his minutes, but the game seems to change a little bit there, seemed to lose a little bit of control when he went off. But he was really positive, you know, nice on the ball, showing for the ball, looking to win the ball back. You know, really positive stuff from him. And he's going to be a huge, huge plus to Chelsea this season, providing he can stay fit. And there's no reason why he can't be the first choice in that kind of deeper number 6 position for the football club. He's shown he's got all the qualities. He's shown what Chelsea have missed throughout last season. And yeah, this is a massive, massive season for him. So I'm going to give Lavia an 8 out of 10 for his performance. Some of you might think that's a little bit high, but I thought he was really outstanding for us. Moving on to Enzo Fernandez. Now, he always seems to get scapegoated a little bit when it comes to Chelsea. And I do understand that to a degree. Because of the money paid and whatnot. He was captain. I thought he struggled in the number 10 role, particularly in the first half, both offensively and defensively. We saw it last season under Pochettino when Fernandes was played in the 10. It doesn't suit him. It doesn't get the best out of his game. There are a couple of times where, in a dangerous position in and around the box, his touch let him down. And it just wasn't great from him. When Lavia came off and Dewsbury Hall came on and Fernandes went deeper, he started to look a little bit better. And he needs to play deeper. That's how you get the best out of him. Get him on the ball, you know, spraying those passes, using that range of passing, and, you know, building attacks, receiving the ball from the back line. But in that number 10 position, that just doesn't suit him. And I was kind of baffled a little bit why he was deployed there. And then Nkunku forced out wide, which doesn't get the best out of him either. So you're then left with 2 players that aren't playing in their best positions, and you're not getting the best out of them. So yeah, I thought Fernandes improved once he drops deeper, but it wasn't a great performance at all. I'd probably go with I don't want to say it was Chelsea's worst player, but I'll probably go with a 5 for him as well. Moving on to Nkunku. Positive pre-season. Playing out wide does not suit him. Doesn't suit him. You know, there's going to be a big onus on him to provide end products this season for us. Look, he was a threat out wide, but it doesn't suit his game. You need to get him on the ball in central areas where he's dangerous and can make things happen. You know, we already knew that he wasn't a winger, but this game further confirmed it if anyone else needed any evidence that was the case. So whilst he wasn't poor, he did get involved. He had a few moments, and that it doesn't suit him playing out wide, but this was an okay performance. So I'd probably give him a 6 as well. Moving on to Nicholas Jackson, starting his first game since last season. Very limited minutes in the pre-season. Had a couple of good opportunities. Needs to learn the offside rule. It was lazy and sloppy to be offside for that equaliser. He really didn't need to be. He was involved in some good build-up play as well. But we desperately need a striker. 14 Premier League goals last season. Can definitely build on that this season. But Chelsea need to bring in an established, proven striker to take some of the burden off him, and so that he's got someone to learn from as well. Because he's still young, inexperienced. He will get better. But we need another focal point up there, because Jackson's not really a focal point. So we need that focal point in the box, that clinical penalty box striker. And despite Jackson's qualities, and there are a lot of them, he is not that. So for me, I'd go with a 5.5 for Nicholas Jackson. I will give a rating to some of the subs. Only Neto and Guiu, because they played long enough to get a rating. I thought Neto was positive when he came on. He injected some impetus into the team, added some width, a couple of nice direct runs, taking a few players on and whatnot. Almost scored within seconds of coming off on the pitch. Just couldn't quite get on the end of a cross. But yeah, look, he looks promising, and he's going to be a big player for Chelsea. And we just need to get him more minutes and get him up and running. So yeah, for me, positive from Neto. I give him a 6 out of 10. For Guiu, again, young, inexperienced, was impressed in pre-season. He came on, he looked okay. He tried to cause a few problems. He's definitely got the physicality for the league, but ultimately there wasn't really too much to go off. No real standout moments from him, understandably. And just kind of a fairly standard performance. So I just give him a 5. Nothing much to read into. And if Chelsea do sign a striker, I think Guiu will go on loan. I expect him to play on Thursday in the Conference League. That'll be good minutes for him there. A good opportunity to gain more experience. But yeah, just a standard 5 for Guiu in that game. Obviously, Dewsbury Hall and Vega came on late on. And they were both all right as well. Not an awful lot to do. But guys, that is my player ratings for Chelsea versus Man City. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Whether you agree or disagree with me. Have I been too harsh, too kind to others? Let me know. But yeah, guys, we'll catch you again in another episode soon. Up the Chelsea, and peace out.